let's begin by laying down on our backs, just finding any comfortable position on your backs. Just starting to tune in to the moment.
Was a low-flying bird.
To your breath. Allowing your spine to lengthen. Allowing those shoulders to relax. Taking a deep inhale through your nose. And as you exhale, starting to feel grounded to the mat below you. We're going to practice a little bit of a diaphragmatic breath. It really helps us stimulate that parasympathetic nervous system, reduce any stress level. So place one hand over your belly and the other over your heart. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Feel how your belly expands. And as you exhale gently and fully through your nose, feel that belly soften back down. Creating an equally rhythmic breath. So perhaps inhaling to a count of 4. So let's take a deep inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Continuing this pattern as we settle in. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about controllable versus uncontrollable stressors in our life. Because stress is part of our life, regardless how much yoga we do, how much breath work we practice. There will always be stressors, whether big or small. Perhaps we have certain deadlines or stressors within our relationships. But it's important to understand that not all stress is the same. Some things are within our control, and others simply are not. So the question today is, where are we placing our energy? Taking a deep inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale it out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Continuing on, just allowing your breath to regulate itself, finding just that natural rhythm. So when we focus on those controllable stressors, we actually empower ourselves. Because these are the things that we can actually influence. Like how we respond to a difficult conversation, or how we care for our body, like coming to a yoga class. How we create those boundaries in our life to protect our peace. So action becomes our friend. And when we breathe, we ground ourselves. And we take those intentional steps forward. However, uncontrollable stressors ask us for something completely different. These are the things that are outside our grasp. Let's take a deep breath in all together, holding it at the top, and exhale, release. These uncontrollable stressors, such as the weather, people's choices or actions, or the unexpected twists and turns that our life takes. Have you ever felt that when you're trying to control these, it's kind of like holding water in your hands? It just slips through, no matter how tightly you grip. So instead of any action here, it calls for just surrender. Inviting us to release that need that we have to fix. And just soften and trust. Just let your life unfold. Taking a deep breath in and exhale, release. Knowing that you are capable of meeting life where it's at. One breath at a time. One choice at a time. Starting to bring back some movement into our bodies. Let's wiggle those fingers and toes. Let's take those hands overhead for a big, big stretch. Bringing those knees towards our chest. Giving our body a big hug today. Perhaps gently allowing your body to rock side to side. And very slowly rocking front to back, meeting at a seated position. Taking a big inhale together, bringing those hands up towards the sky, and exhale as we release out. Starting to warm up that body from top to bottom, bringing your ear over to one side and onto the other. Perhaps going all the way around in one direction. And in the other direction. Coming back through center. Let's take that left hand, place it outside our mat. Right hand stretches out, opening up all that right side of our body. And breathe. Coming back through center and onto the other side. Coming back through the center, taking a big inhale, raising hands up, twisting over to the right, and dropping those hands. Coming back around and up to the other side. As we come back up, let's stretch out those legs. Take a big inhale and fall forward. Allowing your body and yourself to just meet where it's at. It's less about where we can reach or if I can touch my toes, and more of how does this feel in my body. Slowly coming back up, connecting the soles of our feet into a butterfly. Perhaps flapping the wings of that butterfly, starting to warm up our legs. And lengthening that back as we take an inhale, and as we exhale, releasing forward.
Island.
Coming back up. Let's bring those legs behind and meet at a tabletop position.
The tabletop.
Stacking our hips above our knees, shoulders above our wrists, and inviting you to just perhaps close your eyes or soften that gaze down to the mat and just starting to do any intuitive movement, maybe swaying hips side to side, or circling around in one direction. As we meet back at a neutral tabletop, let's do some hip circles around, over to one side. And on to the other. Coming back to that neutral tabletop, let's take our right foot to the outer side of our mat and slowly rise up. And very slowly bringing those hips back out in space, with the help of our hands planted at the top of our mat. Keeping those hands right where they're at, grounding from that right hand. Left hand rises up towards the sky. And we're going to be threading the needle over to the right. That right hand can stay right where it's at, or perhaps come to the outer corner of your mat. Maybe try taking a bind, anything that just feels right in your body. I love how you're the support of his gait. And slowly bringing that hand back up towards the sky and down on our mat. Let's take that right leg in. Give those hips a little wiggle, shake. Left foot comes out as we slowly rise back to our gait. And see, you're too short, so you can't do the same. Bringing hips back in space as we plant those hands down on our mat. Hips come back up. Now grounding from that left hand, right hand rises up. And we thread the needle over to the left. And breathe. Slowly come back up. Let's tuck our toes and very gently start lifting off those knees from our mat as we stretch out our legs, bringing our tailbone up towards the sky for our downward facing dog. Taking the moment to paddle or walk that dog, so making little bends to opposite knees, perhaps bringing hips side to side. And slowly walking those hands, those feet, up towards your hands and meeting at a forward fold. Allowing all that upper body to just relax all the way down. Feeling how your hands hang heavy, your head hangs heavy. And very, very slowly, vertebra by vertebra, start rising up, allowing your head to be the very last to come up. Taking a few rounds of inhales and exhales. No.
I think I inhaled in that.
Inhaling, hands up towards the sky. And exhale, falling forward one more time. Lifting up halfway, creating that flat back, bringing those hands either below or above your knees. And exhale, releasing back down. Taking a bend to our knees as much as needed so the palms of our hands can meet the mat and stepping or hopping back into a high plank. Option to drop those knees for extra support. Coming down halfway, let's bring our chest through those arms for our upward facing dog. Bringing back our tailbone towards the sky for our downward facing dog. Right leg rises up. Let's plant that right foot at the top of our mat, dropping that left knee, rising up for a runner's lunge. With the help of our hands, shifting that weight forward. Walking back our hands to our lunge. On our next exhale, can we just feel how our shoulders relax a little? Let's tuck that back toe and very slowly rise up. Planting that back foot and squaring off those hips to the top of our mat for a warrior one. Opening up to the left side of our mat. Let's take a bend to those knees as we squat down. Hands come out to the side for a goddess. Different options here in goddess. We could find some stillness or perhaps sway side to side. Any movement that feels right in your body. As we extend back those knees, falling all the way forward for a wide-legged forward fold.
Yeah. Get some of that. See that? She says it's very nice.
Lifting up halfway. And falling forward one more time. As we slowly rise up, taking a bend back to those knees, back to our goddess. This time, let's bring those palms on our knees, and we're going to move through some goddess twists. So bringing that right shoulder over to the left, and left shoulder over to the right. Perhaps creating like little circles, kind of like you're drawing number 8. And breathe. Slowly rising back up to that goddess. Looking over towards the right to the top of our mat. Let's wiggle that foot all the way to the right. Hands come down. Back leg is extended. We're dropping that knee for extra support for our lizard. Different options here in lizard. We can stay right where we're at or maybe find some movement from the back, pulsing up and down. Maybe taking that right hand to that right knee. Bringing those hands back planted on our top of our mats for extra support. We're going to take a little hop with that back leg, bringing it all the way to the front into Malasana or our yogi squat. Option here with those elbows pressing out for a deeper stretch. Rowdy puppy yoga. Planting those hands at the top of the mat, stepping back into a high plank or supported plank. I love the crow to plank. Dropping those knees, bringing those hips all the way back in space into a child's pose. Option in child's pose, you can also bring those knees as far out wide as possible on your mat, and then walk those hands down for a deeper stretch. Bringing those hands all the way over to the right outer corner of your mat, maybe on the grass. And on to the other side. Walking them back towards the middle. If you did take that wide-legged child's pose, let's bring those knees back into our mat and back into a tabletop so we can transition into a downward facing dog. Left leg rises up. Let's plant that left foot at the top of our mat as we drop that right knee, coming back to our runner's lunge. With the help of those hands, shifting our weight forward, feeling that deeper extra stretch on that right side of our body. Walking those hands back into our lunge. Let's tuck that back foot and very slowly rise up. Planting that back foot and squaring off those hips for our warrior one. And on our next exhale, just releasing our shoulders a little bit. We tend to have them like right by our ears.
I don't know what you mean.
Rotating this time over towards the right, so y'all get to enjoy the sun setting. Let's take a bend to those knees. Our hands come out in a cactus pose for our goddess. And again, all the different options in goddess to either find some stillness or sway side to side, pulsing up and down. Just any additional movement that feels right in your body. As we extend those knees, allowing our chest to melt all the way down as we fall forward. Lifting up halfway. And falling forward one more time. And very slowly as we start rising our chest up, taking a bend to our knees once more for that goddess. This time planting those hands on our knees and finding our little goddess twists. Lifting back up to that goddess. Rotating our chest to the top of the mat. Let's wiggle that left foot to the outer corner of our mat as we set back up for that lizard. Option to drop that back knee for extra support. And taking moves side to side maybe, or front to back. Or taking that left hand to the left knee for a deeper stretch. Planting those hands back at the top of our mat. Stepping forward into our malasana. And if you do go ahead and do crow, that was pretty cool, the little crow to plank jump. Planting those hands at the top of the mat. If anyone does feel inclined to do a little crow jump back, go ahead. Or let's take those feet back into our plank, dropping our knees once again for that child's pose. And always an option to take my favorite child's pose, which is bringing those knees all the way out and allowing that chest to drop. If you did take that wide-legged child's pose, let's bring those knees back up and meet at a tabletop. From our tabletop, let's walk those hands all the way to the front of our mat. And drop that chest for a puppy pose. Slowly walking those hands back. Lifting up our hips. We're going to set up for camel. So with the help of our hands, let's walk those hands all the way down. Perhaps staying here on our thighs, or trying to reach for one foot, the other, or both. Very slowly coming back up. Let's find our ways to our backs.
Hi, Zoe. Oi, oi.
Bringing back those knees towards our chest, and giving them a big hug. And drawing little circles with those knees, very small, just massaging that lower back in one direction. And onto the other. Bless you. Allowing those knees to drop all the way over to the right. Hands can come perhaps extended out. We could bring our gaze in the opposite direction. Bringing those knees back through the center and onto the other side. Bringing those knees back to the center. And finding any final movement that feels right in our body. Or perhaps that is no movement at all. And when you're ready, finding that comfortable position for our Shavasana sound bath. I'll be walking around with some lavender essential oil to place in the palms of your hands. Once I do, rub them together, create a little cup over your nose. Take a few rounds of inhales and exhales, allowing your breath to settle back down. Using your breath as a guide to start relaxing your body, relaxing your forehead, relaxing your eyes, relaxing your cheeks, relaxing your neck and your shoulders. Taking a deep inhale, relaxing your arms and your hands. Relaxing your chest. Relaxing that belly. Relaxing your hips and legs. And finally, relaxing your feet. Starting to slowly bring back some movement into our body, wiggling those fingers and toes. Bringing hands overhead for a big stretch. And rocking over to the right side of our mats. Perhaps creating a little cushion with our hands as we watch the sunset. And slowly coming back up to seated position. Let's take a big collective inhale as we bring those hands up towards the sky. Exhale, bringing hands down to heart center. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you all very soon. From my heart to yours, namaste.
Namaste.